Okay, hello there everybody. Today's video will be a little bit different than my usual videos, and you'll see I also posted, I hope, or will post a video with me like unpacking a few things that I got from Temu because I'm so excited. Anyways, I just wanted to show you what like another side of my personality. Anyways, we're back to a philosophical type of thingy where I talk to the camera with the microphone. Later, not now, because now I'm testing the angle to see if it's like still okay aesthetically and anyways, so in today's video I'll be talking to you about those intellectual pillars, or just pillars that I came up with in order to structure my life a little bit and to feel a little bit more productive, because I really like structure. The thing is with me, I'm either very organized or very messy and chaotic, and I think it's just part of my multiple personality disorder. No, that's not a diagnosis. No, that's not like, I don't know if I have it, but I could have it because sometimes it feels like I'm like different people are in this body and surface in different situations. Like sometimes it's so confusing, but regardless of that fact, there's these pillars and I'm really excited to share them with you. And so let's just get into it. So these pillars that I've come up with are 8 pillars. I don't know why maybe I said in my previous video that there were 7, but there were 8. My bad. I'm going to show them to you. I have them beautifully organized in Notion and they're really nice, and I also came up with some rules around these pillars, but everything's very free. It's no stress. It's just pure enjoyment, pure for yourself. There's no pressure, and I think that's what makes these pillars so successful, and how I've been so successful this week by implementing these pillars officially for the very first time. Of course, today I kind of deviated from the pillars because I really didn't feel like myself. Like last night, I don't know what was up. I was watching The Good Doctor and I tried to crochet like a beautiful cardigan, but it didn't match. I just couldn't. It was difficult and I couldn't keep up, or I don't know, I was too tired, or I don't know what the thing was, but I really wanted it to be perfect and exactly like the ladies explained it and to do what they said, but I just couldn't. I was so insecure. I couldn't see where the like loops were or whatever and whatnot. Anyways, regardless, doesn't matter. But yes, I was very frustrated and I went to bed frustrated and I woke up frustrated at like 7:30 instead of 5 or something. And so my day has pretty much been pretty frustrating. I also didn't get my croissants that I usually eat in the morning because I ran out, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to cut down on the sugar and on the carbs and whatever. And I also felt a little bit bad about how I looked seeing and editing that video with Temu and trying on those dresses. It was just like a little pang to my confidence, but it's okay now. It's okay. I feel okay. Also, look, I did make something. And this was for the artistic pillar that I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, so here we go. The pillars are as follows. The ones that I remember from memory are the intellectual pillar, we have the linguistic pillar, artistic pillar, strategic pillar, psychological pillar, spiritual pillar. What else? I'll just take this here. Then we have the physical and aesthetic pillar. And the last pillar is... I forgot my last pillar. Or did I say 8? Well, the last pillar will pop on the screen if there's a last pillar that I did not mention. I don't know. I forgot. my mind is a mess right now. It's regardless of that fact. I will take my laptop and show you on Notion. But honestly, I don't really like it anymore in Notion because I feel like there's so much you can like put into Notion, especially with AI. I use ChatGPT religiously. I know, judge me all you want for that, but sometimes I just need ChatGPT. And he organizes my thoughts perfectly, and he reformulates things that I write down and he makes them perfect. And so I have to put them in my Notion because it looks good, right? Or when I'm studying for exams, for example, and I tell him my analysis and what I wrote down, and then he's like, but why don't you put it like this? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? You good, man. I like your response way better than I like mine. And so I actually printed it out. Where's my book? When I study, I put everything into this. I know it's pretty messy, but it works, okay? And so I printed it out. Where is it? Here. the word oblivion and the analysis on that word with, what was it? The Wild Iris by Louise Gluck. Yes, so I think that if you write these things down and you just do everything by hand in a notebook, in a little journal, or whatever you want to call it, then I think these pillars will be much more effective. You'll love them way more, and it'll just look better, you know? Like, you'll have something like this to carry around. Like, this was a little something that I tried out yesterday. It's not like something I want to do in my full thingy. Also, this is not, yeah, this is what I tried another day. I didn't really like it. But like, along the time, like, this is my journal. This has been my journal for a few years, I think 2 or 3 years, and I only write in it when I'm really overwhelmed emotionally and when I just don't see like a way out anymore or something. It used to be like an experiment. I wanted to be my experiment to see how much I can improve in like a year, starting from my birthday. I started 2 weeks before we moved into this house, so the 15th of May 2023. That was 3 years ago. Wow, time flies, man. I remember this like as if it was yesterday. Anyway, so I wrote in this almost every single day, and then I stopped, and I started writing in it only when I felt like emotionally overwhelmed and like, you know, the world was collapsing upon itself. But regardless, now I thought I might reframe this because it's a nice journal. I don't want to go buy another one. And so I'm going to use it to maybe keep track of my pillars, or maybe keep track of my daily activity using these pillars. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to figure it out by the time I film the rest of this video, because like right now it's almost 12 and I have a council meeting at 12, and so I can't really finish this video right now. I'll probably move. Don't mind my moving around. But anyways, regardless, I have enjoyed doing a lot of the things surrounding these pillars. They have been productive for me. However, I also felt a little bit overwhelmed because my rule was that I have to do at least 4 pillars, and in order for one pillar to register as a complete, you know, to actually take credit for doing a pillar, I had to do like a certain amount. For example, for either my strategic, psychological, and intellectual pillar, for these 3, I had to do at least an hour and a half. I had to spend an hour and a half doing the things that are mentioned in the pillar, which are just my subjects for A-levels, right? I'm studying them, so I gave myself like 90 minutes for each of them, and I don't do them every single day. I mean, I do them every single day, but not all 3 at once. I usually do 2 of them every single day, and one of them I usually do an hour, and the other an hour and a half. It depends. It really depends. Like, see how loose I am with those rules? Rules are made to be broken. That used to be my motto for a long time, and would you look at that? It still applies. Anyways, regardless, what else? I even picked up a language. I mean, not picked up, but like starting to practice it a little bit. Spanish. I used to live in Spain for 6 months. Don't ask. It's a long story. And my French, you know, because like I used to do French in school like a year ago when I stopped. And I also used to live in Brussels, so like my French was okay. And mon français, ça va, hein. J'ai pas de problème avec ma français. Je peux parler en français avec quelqu'un si je veux, but it's getting a little bit rusty, you know. So I thought I would just practice it a little bit more, maybe fill in the gaps with my vocabulary and practice my grammaire and stuff like that. And so crazy enough, I had reorganized the books in our library, and I found these books, which my parents apparently used when they first came to Belgium or something, and this is basically how they learned French, so that. And then when they moved to Spain, they also bought these 2, so I also used these. However, on the side, I also found this guy, I'm gonna pop him right here, and he has like a full course on Spanish, and so I thought I might do like a lesson or 2 a day, because like what he talks about in his first lessons, I only did the first 2, are like things I already understand, like hola, ¿cómo estás? Hasta luego. ¿Dónde son las cervezas? Or what is it? I forgot. But the basics I know how to say, right? And I understand a lot of Spanish because it's very close to French and to Romanian. I feel like a lot of these words just they make sense, and they all, you know, Spanish. It's fine, it's okay. But like grammatica, or what do you say it? How do you say it? And some vocabulary. Like I don't know all the words in Spanish. I do listen to a lot of music in Spanish, like Romeo Santos, Maluma, Cristian Nodal. I love them. I absolutely adore them. But I don't understand everything that they say. And I also don't really want to look it up, because like one time I looked something up in a lyric that they were saying, and it just ruined the whole song for me. I was like, nah, this is what it means. Bye-bye. It was my favorite song, but then it was bye-bye. Anyways, I'm gonna stop this video right here and I'm gonna come back with the second part. So I'll see you later, but for you it'll be like a second. Bye.
1 hour later.
Okay, so hello there. This is a better angle, and also we're a little bit more moodier this time around. It's not just quick, let's film a little bit. Sorry about that, by the way, but it was kind of good, so I couldn't just cut it out. Regardless of that fact, here we are with a better sound, and I'm going to go over and pop onto Notion for you really quickly. Okay, so this is my dashboard. Like I said, it's for like the next 8 weeks, because you can always change up these curriculums that you have inside of these pillars or not, depends, whatever you want to do with it. It's really, you have so many choices, you can do whatever you want. But this is what I did, and I'm just going to show you really quickly. And like I said, there were like 8 pillars. So the first one was the intellectual pillar, then we have the artistic, linguistic, physical and aesthetic, scientific, strategic, spiritual, and psychological pillar. And all of these pillars focus on, you know, the different things that I like and want to learn about within these categories, right? So if I go on the intellectual pillar, we have this. I had to make it a little bit aesthetic because I just like it when it's like that. And here we have Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice for English literature, which is the prose that I'm studying for my A-levels. These are some basic things that I'd be learning about for English literature when it comes to these pillars. And of course, yes, I use ChatGPT, and I came up with this thing for English literature. So if you're studying English literature, doesn't matter what specifically, and you want the best formula for analyzing, you have to like tell me. Let me know in the comments if you want like a separate video on this formula. Cause like, okay, so I just finished like 2 hours of focused studying, which is pretty rare for me because like my attention span is pretty... No, it's not doing it. Either way, let me show you what I did. I told myself that I do English literature because it's been forever since I've done that, and I've tried to find some sort of analysis formula so that I can actually, you know, structure my essays correctly. And I found the perfect one, and if you want, I can make a video on it. I had a meeting with my teacher like yesterday or something, and she told me that my writing completely changed like compared to 3 months ago. So she was really happy, and it was because I used this formula specifically. So if you want a video on that, let me know. Put here what exactly it is specifically that I want to know for English literature, or want to study for English literature, or needs to be studied, you know, because it's one of my main subjects. And then also really important, the criticism, like with the AO5, and I also mastered that. Okay, so it's not just critics, it's like an alternative interpretation. And anyways, it's all in the formula, so you have to let me know if you need it. Anyways, then it was something about learning rhetoric. So this is how to write essays, how to think analytically, and you know, speeches and persuasion, and how to just feel more confident when you talk to people, right? So like, for example, this is kind of something that can fit into learn rhetoric, because I'm learning how to prove a point, how to communicate something across to you, or yeah, I don't know. I'm practicing my speech, I'm practicing how to talk to people, I'm practicing all these things. So it's really nice. It fits into this category specifically, so that's nice. And then we have Nietzsche here for philosophy. I wanted to start with all of these, but there are a lot, so I thought maybe we should just start with Nietzsche, because I already have some of his books, and you know, why not? Anyways, so this is the first pillar. Of course, you can add anything you want, right? Like, these were the 3 things that I thought, okay, these match into the intellectual pillar. But if you have other things that you're interested in and want to study, by all means, put them in there. Anyways, moving on, we have the artistic pillar, which is one of my favorite pillars. I don't like when it's not loading the images. Yes, here you go. So I have like an image for the different things that I like to do for the artistic pillar, and it's usually drawing, crocheting, or piano. And so yeah, I wanted to draw, but I ended up not drawing as much as I wanted to this week, which is a bummer because I actually really like it. And in crocheting, there's different things that I'd like to crochet. Like, for example, the first thing I wanted to crochet was a gemstone holder, because we have like a lot of crystals, and my mother's like, why don't you crochet something for it? I'm like, okay, I will try. And so I tried this week, and it was a complete and utter failure. Like, I made 2 things like that. I'm gonna pop it on the screen or put it right now. Did you see it? yeah, it's okay-ish. And I also ended up making this thing. I don't know if I think I told you before, but like, yes, this is the only thing that I ended up doing with these gems. The others are still back in their place where they were before. Sorry, mom. Next time, better luck. It was really frustrating. Like, do you know how hard it is to like make a little sack for that specific stone? It's really complicated. I was like, nope, giving up for now. And then for piano, for me, like, I've studied piano intensively for 5 years, and so right now I want to like step away from the classics, and I want to like play pieces that I actually wanted to play when I was studying piano, so things like ABBA or pop songs of the sort. But like right now I did choose like 3. I haven't worked on my nocturne for Chopin, but it's okay. I tried Clair de Lune, it's still Deum, and then La Petite Fille de la Mer. But I have been studying The Winner Takes It All for ABBA. So this is my artistic pillar. And then we have the linguistic pillar. So yeah, I think my internet is glitching because like, I don't know why you won't see the images. They're nice images that, suit the thing. Anyways, so like I said, I was trying to pick up Spanish and then French, and then I also wanted to like do surface languages. So like other languages that I'm interested in are things such as Russian, Arabic, Chinese, Italian, Korean, or even Morse code. I know that's not like a language, but or sign language. I'd really like to. It'd be cool to know how to do that. So I put it there just in case I someday wanted to, There we go with the images. See, I told you they're perfect for this. Anyways, and so for my French, I have like these 2 books that I'm going to use to study it, and then I can also always watch videos. And then for Spanish, this is the guy that I was mentioning, but I think I already showed it to you on the screen. But yes, so 1 video a day and a few phrases from the 2 books that I already have, thanks to my parents. Okay, and then we have the physical and artistic pillar. The physical and the aesthetic pillar. So this is my aesthetic. It's a mix of a few things, but basically it's dark academia with coquettish, with old money type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, fairy-ish type of... It's just a mix of all of them depending on my mood. Anyways, and then, I took a few hairstyles for me that I think would suit my face and my hair, and so these were the ones that I ended up with. And then some makeup looks. I really love her. What was her name? Monica? No, I don't know. I don't remember her name, but I love the way she does her makeup and how she looks. No, not her, I mean. I meant her. Anyways, and Dakota Johnson. And then we have like small details which are like basically for the aesthetic of this Notion page, which are handwriting. My handwriting isn't really like that, but I thought, it's beautiful. Prada, this is my perfume. And Ritual, tea, drinking tea out of a beautiful cup. I like that. And then I also had like a body and health section, which didn't really work out for me as well. I did work out all of these days, and today we're the 27th. Yesterday I also worked out, but I didn't log it. But today I just woke up and I was like, I'm not gonna work out. And I tried doing her like 30-day challenge. It's nice, she's nice, but I've just changed my opinion on fitness, and actually liking it or not has changed a lot over the years. Like, I've suffered so much trying to, work out and diets to look a certain way. And so right now I feel like I'm still a bit traumatized. So if I'm not careful, I fall back into like old habits and patterns and stuff like that. So, I'm learning to accept myself and to not push myself into that direction anymore. And I feel that's what I was kind of doing again by, logging my food, or by, trying to do a challenge. Like, I already look good. Okay, I'm very beautiful, and I like the way I look. Sure, I could lose some kilograms because of the fat in the underarms or between my thighs, but that's just genetic. That's where, it's okay. It's fine. But like, I'd rather switch over to something more like, I don't know, maybe like Pilates or yoga or stretching. I think these are they fit better with my aesthetic, and I'd feel way better doing those things than doing cardio and strength training. I know you don't get bulky necessarily by doing these things, but Still. Anyways, wow, I talk a lot. And then I had my measurements, but whatever. Anyways, so this is the physical and aesthetic pillar. There's not much that I do every single day. I just make sure that I'm put together, even though I stay at home every single day, all day. And then I put on jewelry and I do something with my hair, and I have like decent clothes on and not like sweatshirts or something, because it makes me feel good. And if I feel good, everything flows better, in my opinion. Anyways, we move on to the strategic pillar, which is basically my sociology. I put it here because, it's about how the world is structured, how we interact with one another. And I just felt like strategy, society, sociology, I think it's fine. And so I put like revision methods, but I haven't really used this. It's here to remind me that it's a pillar, but what I've been doing for sociology recently is just study. Like, let me show you my summaries. Hold on. Whew. Okay, so these are my summaries. I know a lot of paper, but I think it's better that I have them on paper, printed out on paper, than to, just do it digitally like I always do. Anyways, and so today, for example, I did globalization. It's one of the chapters when it comes to sociology. And I just underline things, I circle things, I even highlight things sometimes. And I feel it's a good way of refreshing these ideas inside my head. Of course, there's a lot of sociologists and a lot of perspectives, and so much you can learn how to say about sociology. And I am kind of worried that I'm not going to be able to do that for the actual exams. However, I'm working on it. I'm developing some sort of strategy like I did for my English literature, so that I'm not so stressed out about sociology as well. But most of the concepts and terms and definitions and the most basic and important theories and people, those I know. So I think I'll be fine. I mean, I shouldn't really worry about that. But anyways, moving on, we are going to the spiritual pillar, which honestly I haven't done a lot for this week. I have journaled, but not really journaled about my thoughts. There were random thoughts that I jotted down. And it was really pretty. I really like what's it called? Junk journaling? Is that what you called it? My sister, she does that, and so I saw it and I'm like, okay, maybe I could do that with my aesthetic as well. And so I'm trying to give that a go. That's the journaling part. Of course, I could be writing about my emotion, my thoughts, observing myself, things like that, blah, 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 reflecting, but I haven't. And then read spiritual books. Honestly, I don't know why this one is here. Hopkins. It's not Hopkins, it's Hawkins. How do you spell his name? Oh, here are our images. Nice. So Hawkins, but this isn't really a spiritual book. This is rather like a scientific book type of thing. So I shouldn't really be putting it here. So it talks about the universe and it gives you brief answers to big questions. That's the name of the book. It's a really nice book. I've been reading it every single morning except for this one for the past week. And Hawkins is really nice, but I don't agree with everything he says. And I don't agree with his opinion on God and things like that, but that's just me, okay? And then, sit in silence. I should probably do that more often. Anyways, moving on to the last pillar, because my phone is about to die. The psychological pillar here. Yes, we got our images. So in psychology, in my textbook, there's 2 specific chapters I have to learn. It's clinical psychology and it's organizational psychology, and so I divided them here as well. And I also put something new things that I could learn about psychology that aren't in the textbooks, what was it? Yeah, with Jung's theories or Freud or symbolism or mythologies or things of that sort. I also am reading a book. It's a huge book. I'm gonna put it here. A psychology book, with all these different perspectives, and I read 2 pages every single evening before bed. It is here I kind of did summarize all of my chapters because I hadn't done that for organizational psychology. And right now I think I should be doing past papers more than anything. So yeah, I also have to develop some sort of strategy for psychology, because so far I've also been working with summaries. This is one chapter, impulse This is one of the chapters in psychology, impulse control disorders. And so I just have everything, like the key things printed out here. So I have a long way to go, but I'll be fine. So these are the 8 pillars that I was talking about. I hope that they inspired you to make your own type of pillars. Of course, they don't have to be exactly the same like mine. You can also have like fewer than I do, but these are just all of my interests pretty much categorized into a single thing. And so, yeah, I really like them. I also made some rules around them. So I'm just gonna tell you the rules for inspiration, but if you can't keep to them or you want other rules, that's also totally fine. So my rule for the past week has been do at least 4 pillars every single day. And then another rule is like a time specific rule. So per pillar, you have to spend a specific amount of time for it to count as you doing that pillar for that day, right? So yeah, it can be like as little as 5 or 10 minutes, like you've seen for my spiritual pillar. If I sit in silence for 5 minutes, then that counts as like completing the pillar for today. So yeah, it's really nice to have these pillars, and when you do them and you see them on a page, because I really recommend you keep track of what pillars you do every single day and what you do in terms of the pillars. Like for example, did you sit down and meditate, or did you read 10 pages out of a book for your spiritual pillar, or whatever it might be? Write them down and track them, because I think it's better that you see all of these things that you do every single day, so that you feel like, oh, I've accomplished something, even though sometimes we may feel like we don't achieve anything that day. Then you have this as proof, like, oh yes, I did, and it's very encouraging. It's a confidence boost. Also, another quick thing that I wanted to mention about these pillars, sorry, I'm charging my phone, that's where this crazy angle, is that you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. These pillars are purely for your enjoyment, for your development. You shouldn't stress about them, right? They're not something you must do or have to do. There's something fun that you can do additionally to your life to make your life better or more interesting or whatever. So don't be so tough on yourself. If you're still figuring it out with the pillars, that's totally fine. I'm still figuring it out with the pillars, okay? Nothing is set in stone, so don't worry too much about it. So just have fun with it, okay? That's the most important thing. So these were the pillars. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.